Bad passenger behavior on cruise ships is undeniably on the rise. While Carnival has already tightened its rules to curb these incidents, unruly guests now seem to be making their way onto Royal Caribbean. According to various reports and social media footage, the number of fights aboard Royal Caribbean ships appears to have inched up slightly compared to 2024, including minor scuffles that didn't result in serious injuries. Many might argue that Royal still has a long way to go before catching up to Carnival's history of onboard chaos, but what about the future? As Carnival continues to crack down with stricter policies, it's hard to ignore the possibility that fights could become more frequent on Royal Caribbean instead. Could this cruise line eventually become the next Carnival when it comes to brawls at sea? Let's dive into that question in today's episode of Cruise Now. First, to answer the question, we need to look at Royal Caribbean's current situation. Over the past few weeks, the cruise line has faced a string of serious troubles and disruptions across several sailings. One shocking case involved a passenger in Puerto Rico who jumped overboard in an attempt to escape a $16,000 gambling debt. On another cruise in the Adriatic Sea, crew members issued a security alert when a guest was found carrying a letter opener described as being the size of a Greek dagger. Although the item was confiscated, the passenger was still allowed to remain on board. More recently, Royal Caribbean was forced to turn a ship back to port to get two injured passengers emergency medical treatment after a violent brawl broke out at sea. The incident happened aboard Wonder of the Seas, one of the newest Oasis-class megaships, which can carry up to 7,084 passengers. Normally one of Royal Caribbean's most celebrated and sought-after vessels, the Wonder instead made headlines when it had to return to Port Miami due to injuries from the fight. Passengers on board captured video footage of the altercation, giving the public a closer look at the chaos. Special thanks went to Facebook user Tina, who shared the clip widely. Besides, according to Jessica Atkinson, a guest on the sailing who described the events in a social media comment, the trouble began when a group of intoxicated young men behaved loudly and disrespectfully, eventually insulting an elderly woman. When her husband stepped in to defend her, the group allegedly attacked him. While most bystanders hesitated, one courageous man intervened to help the couple. Jessica reported that the man who was first knocked down suffered serious injuries, including a broken femur, and had to be hospitalized immediately after the ship returned to port. As a result, the entire disruptive group, around 20 people, including children, was removed from the ship. The ship's pool area was sealed off, and the captain announced that the vessel would return to Miami to properly handle the incident. After witnessing the entire incident, I'm certain that no passenger on that cruise will ever forget the chaos. And if you're over 50, you might seriously think twice before booking a voyage like this. No matter what, younger travelers often tend to be more hot-tempered and impulsive compared to older passengers. They can be restless and drawn to excitement rather than calm. As we saw in the video, even when others tried to intervene, one of the younger passengers was still able to shove the older man to the ground, and for someone who has worked hard and endured decades of wear and tear, even a seemingly light push can cause serious injuries that may require long-term treatment. As of now, there's no official word on any arrests. Of course, Royal Caribbean enforces a strict code of conduct and has zero tolerance for violence on board. It's highly likely that the passengers involved in the fight will be banned from all future Royal Caribbean sailings and could also face criminal charges and fines. What do you think about this? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe to help me reach my first 5,000 subscribers. Your support is a huge motivation for me to keep bringing you the latest cruise updates. Thank you so much. Alongside debating the cause of the brawl, cruise passengers across various communities have also begun offering advice to one another. One tip that stood out and received a lot of agreement is to choose longer cruises instead of shorter ones. But that raises an important question. Do shorter sailings really lead to more disruptions? A lively discussion on a Reddit forum and Facebook social media points out that quick getaways often see more incidents than longer voyages. Many people have pointed out that these brief itineraries have earned a reputation as booze cruises, where the party vibe is stronger, drinking is heavier, and self-control sometimes takes a back seat. With only a few days at sea and the temptation of all-inclusive drink packages, some guests try to get their money's worth in record time. Unfortunately, that can lead to overindulgence, lowered inhibitions, and the occasional outburst. Of course, nothing excuses violent behavior, but it raises the question, what can cruise lines do to prevent it? Many are stepping up onboard security, responding to disturbances more swiftly and decisively. Reminders about the code of conduct are now routinely sent to booked passengers and printed in daily newsletters. One bold suggestion circulating among frequent cruisers is to eliminate unlimited drink packages on short itineraries, forcing guests to pay per drink. The idea is that if alcohol isn't essentially bottomless, fewer passengers will push their limits. While no major cruise line has implemented such a policy on U.S. home port sailings, it's an idea worth considering. That said, it all ultimately comes down to passenger behavior and awareness. If people improve their conduct, our cruise culture will surely become the kind of civilized experience everyone hopes for. Of course, it's impossible to control everything, but at the very least, strict cruise line policies serve as a barrier against bad behavior. Royal Caribbean really needs to start enforcing those rules more aggressively, otherwise it might not be long before it earns a reputation as a second Carnival. And don't think I'm exaggerating. The truth is, this isn't the only fight or disruption that's happened on a Royal Caribbean ship in 2024, when another drunk and disorderly passenger allegedly tried to assault two crew members and even attempted to kick down a door to reach one of them. Witnesses said he was shouting profanities and making racist remarks. Security eventually subdued the man using rope restraints and handcuffs, but he died shortly afterward. Many suspected that he wasn't just drunk, but may also have been under the influence of illegal substances, which could have contributed to his sudden death. The troubles for Royal Caribbean didn't stop there this year. Also in April, a violent incident occurred aboard the Liberty of the Seas, resulting in the arrest of an 18-year-old passenger, Michael White, from Siler City, North Carolina. According to local news reports and the Broward Sheriff's Office, the incident took place while Liberty of the Seas was at sea. During an elevator ride, a couple of passengers asked a group of teenagers and young men to stop jumping up and down on the elevator, which was causing it to sway while in motion. The report indicated this caused the group to reply, "Bitch, who are you talking to?" When the elevator reached the 8th floor and stopped, the couple tried to exit the elevator but were assaulted. Once the victim got out, he said he started getting struck by individuals in the face area, causing him to stagger backward. After staggering backward, he fell to the floor, and that's when he started getting kicked. Also, at this point, the victim said he blacked out, and the next thing he knew, he woke up in a pool of blood on the floor. Upon the ship's return to Port Everglades, Broward County Police boarded the vessel and arrested Michael White, charging him with aggravated battery causing bodily harm, which is a felony charge. And let's not forget about the poolside brawl at Royal Caribbean's private island, Perfect Day at Coco Cay, which involved more than 24 people. The incident, captured on video and shared on Reddit, shattered the normally peaceful vibe of the island. It all started when a group of guests staying in the overwater cabanas complained that other swimmers were drifting too close to their area. According to witnesses, lifeguards had warned guests to stay clear of the cabana zone because the tide was pushing people into restricted waters. Most complied, but tensions rose when a man accidentally floated into the area. A heated argument broke out after one cabana guest yelled at him to leave. Things escalated when a woman in the cabana demanded that a lifeguard do his job after the man wasn't immediately removed. Two men from the cabana group then entered the water, allegedly attempting to drag the man down. Defending himself, the man began throwing punches. As the fight intensified, someone from the cabana group tossed the man's hat back at him, sparking more insults and taunts that fueled the chaos. Island security and jet ski lifeguards rushed in to break it up and question those involved. Despite the mayhem, many witnesses sided with the man, saying he acted in self-defense and criticizing the cabana group's behavior when speaking to security. The incidents I've mentioned above are only a few of the cases that went viral and involved actual injuries. In reality, many types of bad behavior frequently occur on cruise ships. And have you noticed something? Most of these incidents involve young people, and as we've seen, even children at times. This may help explain why, over the past year or two, there's been a growing trend away from lively party-style cruises toward quieter sailings, and even the rise of adults-only ships that ban children altogether. That said, for families, large, activity-filled ships remain the perfect choice for an amazing vacation. If you see something that makes you uncomfortable, report it to onboard security. Don't try to handle it yourself. And when it comes to your children, stay close to them and teach them how to behave properly. I wish all of you watching this video an incredible cruise vacation, and if you'd like us to recommend ships that best fit different types of travelers, leave a comment below. See ya. Wow, another fight has broken out on a Carnival ship recently. It's hard to believe, but incidents like this often spread quickly across social media, rather than being covered by traditional news outlets. That's exactly why, if you're someone who doesn't spend much time scrolling through social platforms, but still wants the latest and most complete cruise updates, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Your support motivates me to keep building a great source of cruise news for anyone interested in the world of cruise ships. Now, let's get to the main story. This newly surfaced video captures a fight that took place on a Carnival Cruise Line ship, and special thanks go to Justin Alexander for recording and sharing the footage. According to reliable sources, the brawl happened during a 4-night Bahamas sailing aboard the Carnival Sunrise, which departed from Miami from September 11th to 15th, 2025. Reports say the altercation broke out on September 12th, a scheduled sea day when passengers remained on board to enjoy the ship's amenities. Eyewitnesses revealed that the fight erupted near the pool area, a popular spot for sunbathing, music, and daytime drinks. While the exact cause remains unclear, passenger comments point to a mix of heavy alcohol consumption and a sense of disrespect as the main triggers. Some speculate that a dispute over a lounge chair or an unpaid drink tab may have escalated tensions, but no definitive reason has been confirmed. Regardless of the cause, the fight created chaos and frustration, leaving many guests shaken and disappointed as their peaceful vacation was suddenly disrupted. It makes me wonder, why do some people fail to control their behavior? That question always comes to mind whenever I hear about these onboard brawls. Personally, I always hope that all of us can enjoy our cruises in a calm and relaxing atmosphere. But it seems that some passengers simply refuse to let things run smoothly. Of course, sharing updates like this isn't meant to scare anyone away from cruising. It's purely about bringing you the latest news and thoughtful analysis. With each story, you can form your own perspective about different ships and make the best choices for your future cruise vacations. That's why I can share some thoughts on the underlying factors that may have set the stage for this confrontation. First, this was a short 4-night itinerary, the type often nicknamed a booze cruise, because it tends to attract passengers looking for a quick, party-style getaway. These short sailings usually involve heavier drinking and a higher percentage of first-time cruisers, many of whom may not be familiar with proper cruise etiquette or the unspoken social rules of life at sea. Adding to the volatility was the diverse mix of guests, with travelers from many different cultural backgrounds, each with their own views on personal space, courtesy, and what constitutes disrespect. When you combine high alcohol consumption, inexperience, and clashing social norms, the chances of misunderstandings and conflicts rise sharply. And there's another striking coincidence that not everyone may know. This brawl took place on Carnival Sunrise, a ship with quite a notorious history. Originally launched in 1999 as Carnival Triumph, at a cost of $480 million and built to carry around 3,000 passengers, the vessel became infamous in February 2013 during an incident the media dubbed the Poop Cruise. A fire broke out in the engine room, crippling the ship's power and plumbing systems. With toilets unusable and electricity cut off, passengers were forced to improvise with waste bags, creating unsanitary conditions that quickly escalated into tension and onboard fights. In a desperate attempt to calm guests, Carnival offered free alcohol, a move that only made matters worse and eventually led to a wave of lawsuits. To recover from that scandal and rebuild public trust, Carnival spent $200 million on a major refurbishment in 2019 and reintroduced the ship as Carnival Sunrise, hoping to close the chapter on its troubled past. While the Poop Cruise is now history, a new wave of onboard altercations has emerged, not only on the Sunrise but across other Carnival ships as well. And here's the harsher reality. The surge in fights isn't limited to Carnival. Industry reports from 2025 show that Royal Caribbean has experienced even more fights than Carnival, highlighting how widespread the problem has become. Experts link this increase to the post-pandemic cruise boom, which has brought an influx of eager but inexperienced travelers rushing back to sea after years of travel restrictions. Hopefully, cruise lines will soon get these situations under control, so that everyone can enjoy a safe and memorable vacation at sea. That will almost certainly require stricter rules and tougher enforcement to deal with passengers who refuse to follow the code of conduct. The next piece of news comes from Royal Caribbean, and while it didn't involve a fight, it was no less dramatic. It was caused by massive waves. Recently, passengers aboard Royal Caribbean's Vision of the Seas experienced a tense moment at sea when the ship was struck by large swells on its return journey from Bermuda. A viral video circulating on social media shows the 78,340-ton vessel shaking violently as dining room service carts slid across the floor and glassware shattered. The ship had departed Baltimore on September 20th, 2025, for a 5-night round trip to Bermuda. On the way back to its Maryland home port, an unexpected wave hit, causing the ship to tilt sharply for several minutes. For those unfamiliar, Vision of the Seas is one of the oldest ships in Royal Caribbean's fleet. This Vision-class vessel, built in 1998, carries just over 2,000 passengers. Although equipped with stabilizers to reduce motion, even modern cruise technology can be caught off guard by rare rogue waves, massive swells sometimes defined as being twice the height of the surrounding seas. The incident was first shared on TikTok, and the footage captures a scene of pure chaos. Even as a viewer, you can almost feel the ship tilting beneath you. Plates and dishes crash to the floor, while crew members scramble to secure anything that might slide or topple. While the video doesn't reveal severe structural damage, comments on the now viral clip, garnering millions of views, describe broken glass and scattered tableware. The dining area was temporarily closed while the crew carried out a full cleanup and safety inspection. Several passengers reportedly lost their balance, and some children were frightened. But thanks to the crew's quick action and professional training, the situation was swiftly brought under control. Amid the confusion and danger, the crew's response drew widespread praise. They immediately cordoned off slippery areas to protect guests, and one particularly sharp-eyed crew member was caught on video making an impressive save, grabbing a runaway food cart as it slid across the deck. Social media users applauded the staff for staying calm under pressure, with one viewer calling the catch an Olympic-level move, while another joked that cleaning up afterward must have been a monumental task. Although the rogue wave left many passengers shaken, some seasoned cruisers described the experience as oddly memorable. A few even remarked that the gentle rocking of the ship reminded them of why they love sailing, saying it felt like being rocked to sleep like a baby.